Now listen, as a recovering people pleaser, I know how hard it is to stop. So many of my trauma group coaching clients, my one-on-one coaching clients struggle with people pleasing, and I know that a lot of my subscribers also struggle with it. So this video is for you guys. But before we get into it, Assalamu alaikum. If you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a PA who practices medicine. I am a trauma coach and high impact self-improvement coach, and this is my YouTube channel. It is all about self-improvement, my self-improvement journey, and helping you on your self-improvement journey. People pleasing is one of the most common trauma responses. It is connected to a type of trauma response called the fawn response. And it makes sense that it's so common because it works. When you think about it, a trauma response is essentially a way that our nervous system seeks to protect us from the dangers that it is sensing. And what better way to protect us than to become the person that everybody trusts and can count on, the person that everybody likes, the one who doesn't cause any trouble. But the issue with that is that a person who is constantly people pleasing is engaging in a type of self-sabotage. And very often you lose your sense of self because you realize that you are not coming to serve people out of the goodness of your own heart, but you're coming to a point where you feel like you're being forced to do it and you feel inauthentic. Nobody likes that feeling, and it can get to a point where it truly feels dehumanizing. And so this video is going to be all about teaching you guys the ways to overcome people pleasing through a simple 3-part framework. Here are the top 3 reasons for people pleasing. Number 1 is you have a fear of people. You have a fear of what people will think of you if you say no. You're afraid of the negative opinions they might form about you. You're afraid of what they'll say about you. That fear is so strong that it forces you to constantly be in a position where you're sacrificing your time, your energy, your well-being to do good for other people so they maintain a good opinion of you. The second reason why so many people go through people pleasing is because they lack boundaries. If you lack boundaries, then other people are going to lack boundaries with you. If you don't know how to say no, then people are going to assume that you're always willing to say yes. To lack boundaries is to not give your time, your energy, or your mental well-being the respect that it deserves. And if you don't respect it, then why is anyone else going to respect it? Now, I'm not blaming anyone here because I know very well as a trauma coach that oftentimes the reason why we lack boundaries is because we never learned how to establish boundaries. Either it wasn't safe for us to establish boundaries, or every time we tried to establish a boundary, someone crossed it and we didn't know how to react to that. But nonetheless, lacking boundaries is a huge reason why you might be people pleasing. And the number 3 reason, and one of the most difficult reasons to address why so many people please, is because of the discomfort they feel saying no. In a people pleasing situation, what happens? Someone comes and asks you about something, or you feel this expectation that they want something from you, and you start to feel agitated, anxious, you feel off. And you respond by saying no, and subconsciously, part of that is because you want that sudden experience of anxiety to disappear. And so you think by saying yes to this person and people pleasing, it is going to get rid of the discomfort. But in reality, you're actually building out a lot more discomfort after. Why? Because you're not coming to saying yes or helping this person out of the goodness of your own heart. Rather, you feel like you're being forced to. That can lead to resentment towards the people who are asking you. It could lead to self-hate. It could shift your intentions and cause you to lose out on the reward of actually serving someone. It actually harms you instead of helps you. These 3 root causes might seem like a lot. And I know, especially if you deal with people pleasing, it can feel like, where do you even start? I'm gonna give you guys the 3 methods to address each of these root causes, inshallah. And when you implement them and you practice them over and over, I really think you are going to find yourself in a much better place. If fear of people is a big reason that you people please, it is time to decide whose opinion matters to you. Let's get over a fact of life. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everyone is going to have good things to say about you. If you don't believe me, then read the hate comments on any YouTube channel. The reality is, not everybody's opinion matters to you to make you care about what they think. Now, this might be your parents, this might be your siblings, it might be your spouse, it might be your best friend. The point is, you decide whose opinion matters to you. And you decide who deserves your time, who deserves your sacrifice, who deserves your selflessness. And when you do that, you're taking back your power instead of feeling like you're being pushed around. Now, if you struggle with the second part of setting boundaries, this can take a lot of work, but I have one simple rule that I think is going to help you so much. And I call it the 48-hour rule. In essence, when someone comes up to you and asks you about something, you respond not with a yes or no, but you say, I need to check my schedule. I'll get back to you in 48 hours. Or I'll let you know in the next 2 days. What is that doing? That's essentially creating space between you and the request and allowing you the time to actually decide, do you want to do this? Now it's coming from a good-hearted place, not because you're being pushed around or you're self-sabotaging. Now, of course, this rule might not always work because someone might be asking you about something happening an hour or a day later. Adjust the rule as needed. I'll get back to you in 20 minutes. I'll get back to you in 12 hours. Usually people are texting us, and give that space and time for you to actually decide, do I want to do this out of the goodness of my heart and for the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or am I doing this because I'm being a people pleaser? Now, the number 3 root cause, you're too afraid of the discomfort of saying no. In order to address this, you have to practice saying no. Marathon runners don't just run marathons, they practice leading up to it. They take smaller incremental steps to ensure that they are physically ready and conditioned to be able to run that marathon. The same concept applies here. If you have been people pleasing for years and years and years, it is very unrealistic to assume that you're just going to be able to stop all of a sudden. But what you can do is start practicing saying no, and you specifically should practice saying no with smaller requests that really don't have a lot of weight. For example, let's say a friend randomly texts you and asks, hey, do you want to run and grab coffee with me? Now, they're not saying, hey, I'm having a really hard day and can you come with me? They're just opening the invitation. That would be a good opportunity to practice saying no. Why? Because you get to experience the discomfort, and then you show your brain and you show your nervous system, hey, I feel the discomfort. I said no, nothing horrible happened. Or, hey, I felt that anxiety, but I was able to let it crash over me, and then that emotion waned and now it's gone. You practice teaching your nervous system it is okay to sit with that discomfort. And as you practice and practice and practice, and you learn how to emotionally regulate yourself during that time, you're finally going to be able to stop people pleasing when it comes to bigger asks. And again, you are going to be able to decide for yourself, is this something that I want to do out of the goodness of my heart for the sake of Allah, and regain that autonomy. It really can be that simple. If you are someone who's a people pleaser or you struggle with people pleasing, comment below so that other people who are watching this video know that they're not alone. I know that there have to be so many of you because, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's an extremely common trauma response. If you are someone who struggles with people pleasing or other forms of self-sabotage and want to work with me one-on-one through my high impact self-improvement coaching, then the link is in the description to apply or book a session. And of course, to my beautiful Muslim women who are watching this, if you are ready to invest in your healing in a way that you never have before and heal your trauma through science, through Deen, and through my high impact coaching, my trauma group coaching program application is linked in the description. I would absolutely love to work with you. Currently, the waiting list is open, but the next cohort is actually launching very, very soon. And anyone who's on the waiting list is the first to be notified. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. You are in my dua, and assalamu alaikum.